So as we have discussed yesterday, the hackers methodology and the different phases of the hackers methodology, starting from the footprinting to clearing the tracks and deleting and manipulating the logs. So let's get started with the first module, which is a reconnaissance or an information gathering module. So the very first thing what we do in the information gathering is we gather as much as information about the target, right? Because the more information you have, the attack is going to be a success. So what type of information an attacker will be gathering over here? So attacker will be gathering the network information, like the list of IP addresses, what they are using, and the range of IP addresses, okay, what is allocated to them, like the net block, and what are the domains they are using, and what are the subdomains they have, and what kind of a technology they are using, and what kind of a switches, routers, and other network devices. So it's all about network devices, network policies, and etc. etc. They'll be gathering all the information about the network. Then they'll be gathering the system information, what operating system they are using, okay, what kind of a password policies they have, or what kind of administrative policies they have implemented on the system. So all about the system, like how many Windows operating systems are there, how many servers are there, okay, what kind of a ports are open in each system, and what kind of services are running in it. So they gather all the possible information about the system, and then they will also gather about information about the organization. So what they deal with, who is their vendors, etc. etc. Okay, and what is the objective of the information gathering? So the main objective of an information gathering is to identify the security posture of the target. Okay, like once you have all the domains and subdomains, so we concentrate more, okay, on the where there is less security, right? Because once you do the information gathering, you will come to know what exactly is the security posture, that they are implemented. So we'll try to penetrate, okay, using the more easier way. Okay, I mean, if there is a more security, and if you're still going through the same way, you may not able to enter, or you may not able to succeed, right? So we can easily prioritize, okay, once you do the information gathering, which is the easiest way to enter, and where we should not spend more time. And the very important thing is to identify the vulnerabilities, right? Our motive, the purpose of doing this information gathering is identifying the vulnerabilities, right? So that is something which can allow an attacker to enter into the system or a network, and they'll be able to create the network map of an organization, like how many systems are there, where to where it is connected, okay, what services are running. So they can plan how to enter and how to exit, okay, safely, if they have the entire network map of the organization. So this is the main objective of the information gathering. So we have two ways, two types of information gathering, right? So yeah, two types of information gathering. So what is these two types? So the first type is, of course, passive information gathering. So we perform this passive information gathering with the help of the OSINT tool, open source intelligent gathering technique. I mean, so this technique is something which is gonna gather the information about the target, okay, only by looking at the publicly available resources. And when we are doing this or using this OSINT tools, we'll be not having any direct communication between the attacker and target. So it's all about going and looking the search engines or third-party websites to gather the information. Then we have active information gathering. So of course, the active information gathering involves directly communicating with the target. So the target will also come to know that we are gathering our information, and our digital footprints will also get stored into their logs, like our IP address, whatever we are using to perform the pings, okay, scans, and etc. etc. So let's get started with it. So first, let's get started with the Google advanced hacking technique. Okay, we call it as a Google darking. Uh, so what exactly is a Google darking? Is so I mean most of the results which someone is published in the internet, the very uh, the very first thing is these search engines like Google, Yahoo, Bing, Baidu, okay, uh, and what else, Microsoft is like Bing. So all the search engines will have and collect the information, right, whichever is basically hosted into the internet. Search engines are something which they have all kind of information. But if you, let's say, if I'm going to any search engine, let's say if I'm going to Google, and if I want to identify some information about let's say Infosys. Okay. Whenever you search anything related to a company, okay, maybe Infosys or whatever it is, I'm just giving the example. Okay, don't consider this as a target. So you can see the results are huge. So what this search engine is doing is wherever there is an Infosys keyword, okay, in their database. So while it is crawling, it's just putting the results over here. Search engines are something which they have all the information whichever is published to the internet. But when you search manually, like Infosys, let's say I want passwords, etc., etc. Let's say I want login pages and etc. You may get the results from the various different places. Okay, last time if you see, if I search about the Infosys, what happened? I got the results from the Infosys. That's fine. They have done the proper SEO. And here you can have the information about the Wikipedia, Google Maps, and news, okay, and Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, okay, and a whole bunch of results from the various different websites, wherever it is mentioned as an Infosys, right? So in such cases, we use this Google Docs to narrow down our results to get the relevant information according to us. Let's say I want to only see the information which is belongs to the Infosys.com. I don't want to see this Wikipedia information or LinkedIn which is posted in any other different website. So we use this Google Docs. Okay, so the Google Docs is nothing but it's just a filter that you need to apply. So let's say I wanted to only see the results which are belongs to Infosys. If I wanted to narrow down the results only according to the my search results, so I can use something called site infosys.com. Now you can see when I use this site colon infosys.com, there is no other results, only the results which are belongs to Infosys domains and subdomains, right? Now my scope is clear. So let's say if I'm targeting Infosys and if I wanted to find some information about the Infosys, okay, of course, you can use this site, okay, operator, and you can give the domain name that will only restrict the information regards to the Infosys. Okay, inside this results, okay, there might be, I think, yeah, close to 32,000 results. So in this 32,000 results, I wanted to identify the login pages, okay, because the purpose of this Google Docs is different, okay. They can use this Google Docs to identify the sensitive pages, some kind of a misconfiguration or uh, you know vulnerable files, okay, to read the configuration. So we can use this Google Docs for the various purposes. I'll show you a couple of examples to you. Okay, before that, let's say, let me go with this example. Let's say I wanted to identify the login pages of the Infosys now. So most of the time, this login pages will be mentioned it in the internal URL, right? So I can write in URL, okay, wherever there is a keyword called login in the infosys.com, and I mean out of the 32 results, wherever in the URL the keyword login is mentioned, give me only those results. See, I got 4 results, and if I open these 4 results, you can see here in the login I have, right? So likewise, we can use this Google Docs, or let's say I wanted to see in text, wherever in the text they are mentioned as a password. You can see 189 results, and you can see in the text they have mentioned the change password, forget password, change password, okay, forget password, and these all the results from the different subdomains. Okay, there is a guide also. I think there is a document also is there. Let's say you want to see this kind of a documents or files wherever they have mentioned it as you know passwords. You can type file type. Okay, file type. Let's say I wanted to see docs, no docs. Maybe I can see PDF. So there are PDFs which are having the keyword called passwords. Okay. So likewise, we can narrow down our results to identify whatever we are looking for by applying this Google Docs. But Sai, how to identify this Google Docs? Okay, I mean you're writing it like site, in text, file type, and etc. etc. But where do we able to find this? And where do we able to see some of the examples to use it later or to understand later, right? Okay, so I'll give you a small cheat sheet to you, which is Sans Google Doc cheat sheet. Okay, you can see Google is thinking that I'm a robot. Okay, so just open the cheat sheet. Yeah, you can see you have the cheat sheet as well, where you have the information about in URL. So it will give you the information which is contained in the URL, right? You can see in URL FBI, okay, preventing the ransomware, and site, file type, all in URL, in text. Okay, you have all the common Google Docs over here. I'm just putting it in the chat. You can go and refer it. So let's say I want to identify the subdomains using the Google Doc. Is it possible? Of course it is possible. Why not? Okay. So when I type site infosys.com, it has given me all the subdomains as well. Digital careers, Infosys, info, TQ, finance. Okay, Infosys is again repeating. Infosys is again repeating. So let's not have the results as a Infosys again. So copy this. If you specify anything by giving the minus sign, it's not gonna give in the results. But you need the subdomains, so you can give star dot anything which starts okay with the dot Infosys. Give me the results, but don't give me the results of infosys.com, because we know that there is a website. What happened? Hmm, we got the result minus site www.infosys.com. It's better to specify, clearly, because when you specify minus site colon infosys.com, it may not consider the subdomains as well, right? But if you specify it properly, www.com, you can see we got the result, right? Now, how do we, take these all the results? It's a bit toughest part, right? We have to use some kind of a script. Okay, it's better to use some kind of a script which can go and pull the results and which can, help us to do the sorting and, give the unique results. That is something which is better. That's, of course, we have the tools for it, but I'm just showing an example to you, right? So of course, yeah, you can use this Google Docs and you can try, okay, yourself. And if you have any questions, you can get back to me. Okay, it is also there in the material. I think, yeah, once you enroll to it, we'll be also providing you the material to you. You will be able to get it, right? And if you go to a place called Google Hacking Database, I mean, when I say Google Hacking Database, here we are not, hacking, we are not hacking Google or something. Okay, it is just kind of a database where you will be able to see the latest Google Docs, which are published by the various information security professionals uh, to, um, to identify the sensitive information, to identify the vulnerable files, misconfigurations, okay, creepy information, etc., etc. You can see here in title. Okay, so this is a title for every website, right? So this is a title, the one which I have highlighted, Google hacking cheat sheet. So here Infosys is a title. So every website having a title. So in title, it will identify for the index page. So in every server, index page is very, very common. So they are checking wherever the index of page is exposing and which has db.py because it contains the juicy information, might be passwords, usernames, some kind of a configurations, etc., etc. So here you can apply the filter in the categories and you can see the Google Docs are available for the various purposes. So let me show you maybe Google Docs for sensitive file contain usernames is fine. Let me see. Yeah, file contain passwords. This is something really interesting, right? You can see here. File contain passwords. They are checking in text. Okay, let me go with the first one. In title, index of page, and they are looking for the HT password file. You can simply copy this and give this Google Doc in the internet and see how many websites are vulnerable for this and exposing the information. Almost 7,000. Right? If I open this, you can see I have the index page as a title, index of as a title, and which has HT password file. If I open it, I may have, of course, I need to uh, download it. I need to look it into it. What is there, right? So likewise, you can use this Google Docs, okay, to extract or find the unprotected files in the internet. Okay, maybe like password files, username files, personal details, login details, sensitive pages, server versions, etc., etc. Right? Hope this is clear. Yeah. So next, let's go to how to gather the subdomains of the target. Okay, I've already shown you how to gather the subdomains of the target using the Google Docking, but there it's all manual work, right? We cannot go and copy the subdomains and keep it in a file. It takes a lot of time. So let's go and use some kind of an automated tool which goes and looks into the various search engines and it gathers the information and it will sort it out, okay, in a unique way, and which can post you the results for us, right? So there is a tool called Sublister, which is also a OSINT tool, and it is open source tool which is written in the Python, which is available for free in the GitHub. The source code is posted in the GitHub. But this tool is not available right now in the Linux operating system. We need to install it manually. So let me start my Linux operating system and let's install this. Yeah. So once your Kali is started, first go and take the root access. Then let me do one thing. Let me create a directory called Harsha. That let me go to this directory. Yeah. Then yeah, let's go and first download the Sublister tool. So you can just simply type Sublister. So you got the results from the GitHub. So you can see Sublister is a Python tool designed to enumerate the subdomains of a website using the OSINT. It helps the penetration testers and bug hunters collect the information, collect and gather the subdomains for the domain that they are targeting. So it enumerates the subdomains using the many search engines, okay, such as Google, Yahoo, Bing, Baidu, Ask, okay, Netcraft, VirusTotal, um, etc., etc. Right? Instead of looking for only one specific, search engine, so this tool will go and perform the subdomain, gathering in all various search engines. So that's cool tool, right? So let's use this. So click on this repository, GitHub repository. So here you will be able to find all the source code. You can download it directly by clicking on the code, and you can download it as zip. That is the one option. After downloading it, you can unzip it and you can use it. Or else you can just simply copy the path, okay, of the file where it is posted. Then go to the terminal. Then simply use the git clone. Okay, you can just type git, sorry, git clone. Then you can just paste the exact path. Okay, so for pasting, you need to make sure that these options are kept the bidirectional. Okay, share the clipboard bidirectional and drag and drop bidirectional, so that you will be able to copy something from your local host to Linux operating system. But in this case, I have just opened the browser also in the same virtual machine. So you can just use the Control Shift V to paste it. Okay. Then click on Enter. So automatically it will be cloning it. So you can see the cloning is done. And if I give ls, I'll be able to see the Sublister directory. Then let me go inside this Sublister and let me give ls. So you can see here is the sublister.py, and we have all the configuration files. So this is written in the Python. So to run this, we required the Python. So the Python is already pre-installed in the Linux operating system. So we can just directly call Python 3. So we have Python 2.7 as well as Python 3. So let's use this Python 3, and let me call this tool, okay, sublister.py. But how do we run this tool? So we are going to use so many tools part of a learning. So whenever you encountered any new tool, okay, and you wanted to check what kind of options that the tool supports, so you can just simply go for help, whatever the tool it is. Okay, so help is your best friend to understand the options. So you can just use this help. It will give you all the available options with the tool. Okay, you can see here. So we have, you can also use -h. Okay, when you use -h, it is like kind of a shortcut. But if you give --, then you have to give the entire word, right? So you can give -d, or you can give --domain. So whenever you give hyphen, which means that you are specifying some option over there. Or whenever you give 2 hyphens, okay, you have to specify the entire name or the word of the option. Then, okay, so what is the D? D is for domain name to enumerate its subdomains, right? So you have to give your target domain name over there so that it starts enumerating about the, the same domain to identify the subdomains. Then this tool also supports a brute force. Okay, I mean, let's say if you have a bunch of word list, okay, commonly used subdomain word list, you can also use this subroot. Okay, so using the subroot tool, you can also perform the brute force attack to see or verify if there is any subdomain is matching with it. But let's not go with it now. Let's first go and understand how, it's basically gathering the information from the various search engines. So you can also run this tool against a specific port, and -v is for verbose. Verbose is nothing but it will give you the details, okay, like what's happening in the background. Let's say when you're doing the file transfer, it will tell you, right, how much percentage it is completed and what's happening. So similarly, when you enable the verbose, it will show you what the tool is doing actually in the backend. So that is just verbose information. It is not a result. And you can also define the threads. Okay, whenever you are doing the brute force attack, okay, you can define the number of threads, number of requests that it needs to initiate, okay, to the server. Then has this tool used the various search engines to identify and extract the information about the target? You can specify one search engine if you would like to use one by using the -e, but we are not going to specify anything. We are just simply going to use the tool like this. You can see here we have the example also. Then this option is for, saving the output. So let's use this tool, Python-d. So which domain we are going to target is, so let's just use this certifiedhacker.com. So this is the, testing domain, I can say, which is given by the EC Council. But whenever you guys are using it in the live environment, okay, whenever you guys are, whenever someone asks you in your organization to identify and extract the subdomains, you can give your target domain over there. And let me just save the results in a file called subdomains.txt, and let's give enter. So you can see it started searching for the subdomains for the ethicalhacker.com in all the various search engines. And there is one source, which is virus total, is blocking them. Okay. So no problem. We can directly manually go to the virus total. The virus total is a very famous website, which most of the security analyst people will use it to analyze if there is any suspicious files, mal links. Okay. Uh, I mean, whether they are having any kind of a malware or not. It is like a kind of a analyzer for the suspicious files, domains, IPs, URL to detect the malwares and the data breaches automatically. So it has linked with all the various types of antivirus vendors. So whenever you give any URL or whenever you give any file, automatically it will perform the scans and will tell you if something is triggering. Which means, of course, if something is justifying it, whether it is a malicious or whether it is legitimate, they have all the information, right? Yeah. So what we're going to do is let's go to the search and let me just use infosys.com. And when you use the infosys.com, you can see it's a clear. All the 94 vendors of the antivirus companies are saying that it's clean. There is no red flags or there is no harm. That's fine. So I will go to the relations. Okay, once you go to the relations, here you can see I have an option called subdomains. Right, you can see I have all the subdomains and also have the IP addresses which are associated with them. So if I click on more, it started giving the more and more information about the subdomain. So attacker will gather subdomains from here as well. I think it's a very old website. They have hundreds of subdomains. So whenever I say more, it's you know it's giving all. Okay, it's done. Right? So you have many subdomains over here. Let's go and see. Okay, this is for some reason it just got stopped. Yeah, let's wait here also. It's also gonna give us the results for us. I mean, I'm just giving you the couple of different sources from where you can actually really extract it because there are other tools also there. Okay, it's not only that you can use the Sublister, but I'm just giving you the best ones like Sublister, Virus Total, and there is another called Scylla, and there are other tools also there. But I want you to go and explore those tools to see and compare the results with these tools. Okay, like you can use this Dimitri, it is also there. Okay, you can use this command Dimitri -s the target, and it'll give you the information. You have Subfinder, Scylla. Okay, so I want you to go and use these tools. Okay, after the session, and just compare the results of what we got. Okay, with the virus total and Sublister, and then you yourself will get to know which is a better one, right? But it's good to have the knowledge of the all the tools, okay, which can help you to identify the information, right? Who knows? You know, the other sources may give you the more subdomains, and if you miss something, uh, of course, if that has a vulnerability, that is a serious risk. So you should not miss anything when you're doing the information gathering. So that's the reason, because there is no specific time that we spend on the information gathering, even an attacker also. So it is completely depending on what they are targeting. Sometimes it takes days, months, years as well, okay, to gather the proper information about the target. Okay. So let's see if this scan is completed and we got some results. No, because it takes some time. Okay, it has to do a lot of things in the background. But once the scans are done, okay, I think I've not captured the screenshot. Okay, once the scans are done, it's going to give us all the results in a file. So shall we wait for it? Okay, for some reason it is just simply not giving us. We have the proper connectivity. Seems to be have, but it seems to be, a request timeout kind of an error. It is not giving why it is not giving. It will give us, okay. So meanwhile, what we do is we'll just simply go to the next. Okay, once you have all the subdomains, what is next? So attacker will try to identify what technologies, okay, they are using. So they use the technology lookup tools to identify the various technologies which are running in the target. So we have a tool called what web. So let me open a different tab. Yes, correct. You can install, if any tool, if you would like to install it from the GitHub, okay, you can use this. Okay, yeah, you can use this Git clone option. So okay, uh, let's do one thing. This time, let's use this what web, and let's give any subdomain that we got it, maybe a certified hacker.com. So I'm just giving the main domain itself. You can just give what web certified hacker.com. In your case, you can give your, the target website. So it says 200, okay. It's reachable on the HTTP. There is no HTTPS because it will also make a request to the HTTPS. Country, so it is in US. Okay, the server is hosted in the United States. And the server, what they are using, I mean, this tool is identified is Nginx 1.19.10. And the IP address of the server is this 162.241.216.11. And they are using the jQuery. Okay, this is a library, front-end library in the Java, which is 1.4. I think, yeah, they are also using the JavaScript over here. And it is the title. And here is the some of the uncommon headers. So we got to know that the IP address, the server, and the jQuery version. So when we are doing the information gathering, as I said, we should not go with, or we should not come to the conclusion by looking at only one tool, because it's all kind of a passive information gathering. So you might be thinking how it is gathering the information, Nginx and jQuery is just looking at the website response itself. Let's say if I am opening a website, the same website, certifiedhacker.com. Okay, instead of what web, you can also use an extension called Vaporizer. Okay, so there is an extension called Vaporizer. I am using it. Okay, you can see this is the extension. So I'll also give you the link in the chat. You can also add it to your browser and open any target website, and automatically will give you what all the different technologies the target website is using it. So if I click on the Vaporizer now, you can see it says that, of course, Nginx 1.19.10, and it's saying that the web server is same and the reverse proxy is also same. Who knows? It is only reverse proxy. They might be using another, different server, right? So this is identified because of just looking at the response. Okay, if I go to inspect, if I go to network, And if I just simply refresh the page, so here I have the request. Let me click on it, and here is the response header, and the response header contains somewhere it is server and server details. So this can be modified by the attacker to just uh, what we say, confuse the hacker as well, right? So until unless if you directly scan them, you cannot identify what exactly it is. So it's not, we should not come to the conclusion by only looking at to the one particular resource. Okay, and how it is identifying the other details, like it's saying that there is a jQuery uh, 1.4, jQuery UI 1.7.2. It is hosted in Bluehost, and there is a front-end script called Kafun, etc. Yes, because they might be disclosing themselves somewhere in the website. So if I go to view page source, okay, you can see here jQuery 1.4.mini, jQuery UI 1.7.2, right? So they themselves is exposing in the client side code, and also you can see cult tip, Soffice, fancy box. You can see Kafun, right? So by looking, get the website response. Okay, the tool is just giving the information for us. I mean, it has been exposed themselves. Okay, so that's the reason we have this information with us, right? Um, okay, so you can just use Vapalizer, you can just use WhatWeb, and also you can use something called search search dns.netcraft.com. So Netcraft is also a I can say a very famous website for identifying the phishing links. Um, I mean, this is basically to analyze the phishing and etc. So they have something called technology lookup platform also, which they have, which is there in the searchdns.netcraft.com. So here you can just go and uh, give any website. So it will give you all the matching subdomains to you. Here you can see there are 1, 2, 3, few subdomains are there, and it will tell you last seen, NetBlog, and you can see OS, operating system. So last time we didn't anywhere we didn't anywhere got the operating system details, but here you can see it says Linux operating system. That's cool, right? We know the reverse proxy might be Nginx or web server might be Nginx, which is running on the Linux. But okay, let's go and see. Click on the site report. It will give you more detailed report about the target website, like what is the rank, where it is hosted, okay, hosting company, hosting country, IP address, okay, and the IPv6 if in case, and a reverse proxy, reverse DNS, organization name, okay. So like who is results also we got it over here, and we got the IP address, and we also got the location, and we got the hosting history. This is cool, right? So with the help of the hosting history, we'll get to know what actually servers are being used from the past, what operating system they are using from the beginning, and what is now. You can see it seems to be the web server is Apache, because most of the Linux systems have the Apache server only. So Nginx might be a reverse proxy. So I am assuming it. Okay, so we have the Linux operating system, but we don't know which flavor of the Linux it is. And inside the Linux, we have the Apache server, and they have the Nginx, okay, which is a reverse proxy in between the actual server. I mean, this is my assumption. Okay, and this is older IP that they used previously. We can also take this IP address into our scope. Who knows? There is something else is also running on the same server, but it is not properly secured because it is the IP is which is belongs to the target previously. Okay, they might be using the same IP for other purpose, right? So we can also use this information. And here we have some of the information about the SPF and DMARC. Okay, we'll learn that later. And we don't have anything over here, right? So you can use 3 different sources to perform the technology lookup. Okay, one is the WhatWeb I'm putting in the chat, and second one is Netcraft, okay, which is search. You can go to DNS search dns.netcraft.com, and you can also use this extension, okay, which I have just pasted in the chat. There is another one also, which is built with. This will give you the history of the technologies, what they were using from the XYZ time. So I'm just giving you the multiple sources, guys. So here you can see whatever the technologies they are using, from when they are using, are they using currently or not. Okay, when it comes to web server, so it's saying that in 2015 they are using the Windows, then they moved to Nginx, then they are using the Apache, now it says and again Nginx. Right? So SSL certificate, they were using the Komodo and Komodo now they just shifted to Let's Encrypt. And the previously they hosted to network solution DNS, now they are hosted in the Bluehost. So similarly, it gives you all the history of the technologies, whatever they have used and using. So you can also use this. Right, so this is about the technology lookup platforms. Can we use this in our local machine or only virtual machine? Yeah, you can use it in your local machine because it is just hosted in the internet. Okay, there is no restrictions because I am also I'm also using it in the local machine. There is no restrictions because this is just available in the internet. But the tools, okay, you have to download it in Linux, like Sublister or WhatWeb is also pre-installed over there. So that you need to run it in the, of course, in the Kali itself. Because if you're planning to run it in the Windows, again, you have to install the Python, you have to configure so many things, you have to block the Defender. There are so many, configuration that you needs to perform. So all your time will goes for the configuration itself. So that's the reason we use this Kali Linux operating system, which can help us to, make our life very easier, right? So yeah, so what we have discussed, Netcraft, Vaporizer, built with to identify the technology lookup. Then we have something called Shodan.io. Okay, so we can call this Shodan.io as a hacker's search engine. Okay, I will call it as the Shodan.io is a hacker search engine. Yes. So here you can able to search any device which is connected to internet. Whichever the device it is connected to internet, you can able to track it from here by just giving by just giving an IP address. It will help us to identify how many ports are open and what's running on it, what technologies are running on it. If in case if there is any vulnerabilities also, it's gonna give us any device which is connected to internet, maybe your CCTV, routers or firewalls, web servers. You can also search by giving an operating system. You can also apply the filters with the location wise. Okay, so of course it's a very good resource I can say when it comes to information gathering for a hacker. right? So most of the people they configure, I mean, they just purchase the devices and they connect to their home, and they don't even look for the any kind of a security configuration, right? So if it is vulnerable for any specific attack because it is connected to internet, and Shodan is every time scanning the entire internet, right? So attacker can come here and they just simply give that IP address or give the location or a technology uh, search, and if in case if it is exposing, then easily they try to identify the vulnerabilities and they enter into it. So let's say here, let me just go with the same web server, which is this copy, and let me just paste it over here. Go. So I'm just giving the publicly reachable IP address. Okay, don't try to give any private IP address. It won't work. Just give the publicly reachable IP address. So I have given the IP address of the target. So here you can see I have the all the open ports in the target. 21, 22, 26, 53. I have not interacted with it, but still, I am able to see what and how many ports are open in the target. Because Shodan is performing the scans, I'm just going and checking in the Shodan result. So you can see they have also made sent a request to the port number 21. It says that they are using the pure FTPD, and here is the information about the FTP request and this the kind of algorithms and certificate that they are using. And we have 22 is SSH. They are using 5.3 SSH. I got the version details over here. So similarly, if I go to the other ports as well, you can see it says that ESMTP Exim 4.9 it seems. Okay, here you can see there is a DNS port which says they are running the Red Hat 9.8. This is also Red Hat 9.8. Apache server, it says 404 on the port number 80. So later we'll also go and check it out one by one port, what's running on it when you're doing the active information. Okay. And here it is also telling what all the vulnerabilities are existed and what is the CVE number which is given to those vulnerabilities. So most of the vulnerabilities seems to be OpenSSH related vulnerabilities because they are running the 5.4. So it has so many vulnerabilities, but not very, I can say critical or high. I think these are medium. Otherwise, even if it is demo, someone will compromise it, right? Okay. So you can also search with the other uh, things like maybe you can search like CCTV. You can also give the country India, and it will give you the CCTVs in India. This is a country code IN. Oh, let me just search for CCTVs and see if I can able to see any results. And you can also search with the vendor names. Yeah, there are 3829 results for the CCTV, and here I have the router configuration page and different countries, what ports are open, okay, etc. etc. If you identify that a specific version of a server or a product is vulnerable, so you can come and search here, and it will give you how many are connected to the internet and how many are exposed to the internet. So let's say Apache 2.2. Okay, I'm searching for Apache 2.2. So it'll give you the results of Apache 2.2. So many Apache servers are running with the 2.2 over here. So if I open it, because okay, uh, yeah, let's explore this more later. But of course, this is very information. Um, I mean, there's a lot of information actually. Okay, in the show, will take time to analyze it. But of course, this is a very good resource that we have to get the open port services or Internet of Things. Okay, easily we can able to get it from here. And similar to it, we have something called census.io. So it is an alternative for Shodan. You can also use the census over here, which can give you the more details about the IP address. But if you see here, it's saying that they are using the Red Hat Linux 6. Last time we got to know that they are using Linux, but now it's clearly telling that it's a Red Hat Linux 6. And of course, the same ports and other details are same, seems to be same, right? So this information is really helpful for an attacker to identify the attack surface, right? Yep. So these all the tools are basically attack surface management tools. Okay, they'll tell you what kind of information is exposed to your organization when you synchronize with these tools and take a subscription with these tools. But for an attackers, okay, it is really easy to gather more creepy information by using these resources, right? So we'll continue the rest of the part tomorrow. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll take up these questions for today, and we'll continue the other part tomorrow.